featuring the industry's top leaders. This is the Executive Edge with Joe McClung.
Hi, I'm Joe McClung with FloodGate Medical, and in this episode of Executive Edge, I'm excited to have my good friend, Brian Sullivan with Precise Selling for 19 years. I mean, Brian's been training hundreds of companies, 500 companies, like 3M.
I said millions, Joe. I said it's millions.
Millions of companies. Let's go there. I mean, and he's here to talk to us to something that is really, I think, important. Precise selling strategies to get beyond the pitch. Now, I love the fact that you call it selling strategies.
Yeah.
So tell me, what do you mean by that?
Well, there's two ways to look at it. You have a strategy and you need tactics. Okay. Without nerding out too much here, a strategy for salespeople could be something as simple as knowing what you're going to do on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yeah.
And not only that, knowing what you're going to do throughout the day. One of the biggest challenges that our medical companies face is they have salespeople and they've got a million things thrown at them. They've got emails, service calls, they're putting out fires, they got to do meetings, they got to jump on that Zoom. They don't know what to do. And the problem is they don't have their own personal strategy. And strategy to me is just knowing where you're going to spend time and spending more time on high value activity versus stuff that just makes you feel busy, right? So to me, the strategy is I know what I'm doing between 8 and 10 o'clock on a Monday morning. I know what I'm doing a Thursday from 1 o'clock till 3 o'clock. And what I find is if you have that strategy, it reduces pressure and stress, and what sales person doesn't want to take the complexities out of their life. So that's what a strategy is to me.
Yeah, it makes total sense. It's getting in that quadrant of that important and not just urgent, right? And forcing that ahead of time and setting that plan ahead of time.
Yeah, it's just it's not being aimless with your week, right? There's nothing more stressful to a salesperson than you pull up that laptop and you get your Google Calendar and it's Monday morning and you're going, oh my gosh, I only have 3 appointments this week. What will I do? And what happens is you end up filling with no strategy, filling in with stuff that makes you feel like you're adding value. But the problem is at the end of the year, your commission check is kind of weak because you didn't do a lot of high value stuff. If you plan your day out, you plan your week, plan your quarter out, you're going to make little movements towards success, but it's defined. So the very simple takeaway is have defined goals. It will reduce your stress, and put it in your calendar and hold yourself tight. Don't respond to that phone call when someone really needs you now if you're supposed to be prospecting during that time. That's a strategy to me.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and you can react to it, but holding yourself, it's going to be there in an hour when you call them
That's
back.
exactly right.
Yeah, that's great. So besides setting that, defining what those strategies are, what's something else you're seeing? You've trained a lot of successful salespeople.
Yeah.
So what's another habit you see from really successful sellers in this MedTech world?
Yeah. So the simple answer is they have a lot of friends. Okay. So what do you mean? What do you mean? You'll have some folks who've been in our industry for a long time. You and I have been doing it a long time. And they'll say, you know what? Things are different than they used to be. Relationships don't matter. It's all about the GPO. It's all about that IDN. It's all about the contract. It's all about price. Don't believe it. Do not believe it. Right? So if you had one habit, and what I'm teaching is salespeople going into 2024, say this. Say each day I'm going to meet 5 new people. Now maybe only 2 or 3 of them become great friends.
Right.
But if you expand your amount of connections that you have, and you work really hard to authentically learn what's in their brain and what's in their heart, and you connect to them, you're going to get the meeting. To me, it's simple. It's all about, I've got to reach out to Joe. Joe's going to be a prospect. You got to like me up front, and you got to somewhat trust me. And then I got to get to a meeting, and I have to do a hell of a job in that meeting. You're going to like me in that meeting, right? And then at the end, we might do business, we might not, right? So your attitude as you're making these friends isn't self-serving. To me, selfish salespeople have a tough time because it's all inward. And I think those folks who reach out to a lot of people and want to help you, like I want to help you find new companies. You want to help me find new companies. If you do that, the byproduct of that selflessness is you meet a lot of folks, you get a lot of meetings, and you get a lot of purchase orders.
Right. Yeah, you're genuinely curious about them. People realize that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I think we talked about it earlier today. I mean, 1920s, Dale Carnegie, he talked about how to win friends.
That's right. And influence people. That's right.
Is truly caring and taking the time to understand what they need and help them achieve what they have.
Yeah, and don't waste people's time. So you're going to have to, as a salesperson, pick up a phone and prospect. Or you're going to have to walk into a facility, and you've got a job to do. Right? It's to sell your product ultimately. And too many salespeople sort of fly by the seat of their pants. Not only in the strategy, meaning they don't plan the week, but the other thing is they might pull up in front of a facility and say, "Well, I'm going to go to this department. I'm not really sure why I'm going. I know I'm supposed to meet people, but I'm not quite sure what the objective is." So again, they mistake in their activity because they feel busy for progress. And so, as you know, I'm a big fan of repeatability. And so, that's what Precise does. Certainly strategy is a big part of it, but the tactical part is when I walk in that door, here's how I'm prepared. Here's what I'm going to say to build respect. Right. Here are the questions I'm going to ask. Here's what I say when someone says, "Who's your company and why should I care?" So if you're repeatable and you've practiced, drill, and rehearse the art of selling, you will be better than the folks who've been there, done that, and fly by the seat of their pants. How can't you be better than most? And I don't think it's hard. But being great isn't for everybody.
That's true, because then it would be everybody.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, no, that's some really good points. I mean, the takeaways I'm hearing you is really the strategy. Strategy begins with planning your time, with what you really want to achieve, right? Work in that important quadrant, not that urgent quadrant. And if you don't set that doesn't happen. Second, care about people. Try to make a friend, not make a sale. Right? And try to understand them. You might not connect with everybody, but if you connect with one great person and have that real connection a week, you're going to grow exponentially.
That's right.
And then I think last I heard you say really on that is then when you're going in and you have that strategy and you have that time where Monday 8 to 10 you're going into that new OR, you're prepared. You're not going to just say, "I'm going to walk in and check in."
No checking in.
Yeah, I'm going in.
Remove those words from your vocabulary.
It will, trust me, it'll make every sales leader cringe.
Checking in. It says, "I'm here to sell you something." And by the way, I'm not really prepared, but I have to fill out my expense or my trip report that says I was here. Well, don't show up.
Right. Why? Wasting their time.
That's right. That's right. And I think that's why, salespeople over the history have gotten a bad rap. Right? Mm-hmm. Why do prospects react often negatively to salespeople? It's because they've had so many calls made on them that was the experience. Salesperson comes with a gimme, 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 instead of adding some sort of value, knowledge, skill, some connection. And if you go with a giving hand, they're not only going to buy from you, they're going to refer to you, right? Mm-hmm. And so to me, it's all fixable, right? To me, it's how do you prospect? And how's your activity level? So you got to reach out to cold folks to build those relationships, to get a chance to learn about them.
Yeah.
Number two, once you get them, you got to keep making them better. Either when you walk in that door, you either make them smarter, and it could be your product. It might not be selling a product. It might be, "Hey, Joe, I was recently working with this other facility, this other OR. They were really struggling with infection control. In fact, last year, right, their hospital-induced infection rate was way off the charts. We put together a process that helped them decrease their hospital-induced infections by 42%. It ended up saving them $5 million. Now, you may tell me that your department's doing great, right? That's a hook. I would have known that's coming out of my mouth before I walk in the door. It would create curiosity, and then I'm going to help them, right? Again, it doesn't always have to be about selling your product, but I got to get you thinking a different way.
Right. Yeah, and at the end of the day, if they identify, "No, we really don't have that problem at all," well, you got more time to go to the guy that does.
Yeah, or they're lying.
Well, that too. They never lie. Customer, they don't lie to get you out of there.
Of course not. Of course not.
No, never has happened. Never has happened at all. So, no, some really, really powerful tips. I appreciate that. Given this, hope that gives a lot of the executives a little bit of edge so they can perform better. And of course, Precise Selling, Brian Sullivan, exceptional training. I've done it in my previous company. He's hosting it here for us today so we can become better. So if you need to really get a strategy and not just a pitch, reach out to Brian.
I'm your guy, right?
All right, cool.
Joe McClung.
Thank you, guys.
Best in the business.
Appreciate it.